situations, it's just hard, and it can shock you, and they obviously are going to turn teams over. So I still feel good about Iowa State in these tournament situations. The Big 12 is brutal. They've struggled a little bit. But, Maddie, I do understand your point. Their offense can't get bogged down, and that is a concern. But I think the equalizer for them is the ability to turn teams over. All right, let's keep it rolling here. 11:34. Checking the time. Let's go Kentucky. Now, trust meter for Kentucky. We're going to make it a little easier for the Wildcats. Are they going to get to the second weekend? Trust meter, Sweet 16. Butch.
3. I have 0 trust here. There's not a part
well, then
of me
that's
that
not 0.
Is,
that's the 3. You give them a 0.
It's not
with a
0. Well, yeah, but it's saying I'm going half.
You know what I've learned? Hold on, but you know what I've learned in this game with you? Here's what I've learned.
Yeah.
I would love for you to be like a teacher in high school, like where you just go in. It's like one of those teachers really cool where he just kind of gives out really good grades. Like, oh, I want that guy. Just gives out really good grades. Give me that guy.
Hey, C's get degrees. Everyone passes along. I don't need to see you twice. I've had to deal with you a full year. I don't need another year with you. You're out. Let's go. Come on. Next one up. Come on. No, there's not anything I trust about this Kentucky. When you look at what they've done, their half-court offense, I don't trust. Their defense, I don't trust. They've given up, 92, 86, 96. Like that, I can't be about that. When you look at just the execution of how that plays out, I can't trust this team. And to me, that's the frustrating thing. I think when you look at what they've done and how they've done it, the way they turn the ball over, their turnover rate's high. Like it just to me is a team that. What happens in tournament? Half-court sets. What's Kentucky really struggling in? They're not finding that rhythm in that action, and that's what's going to happen. Is they're going to try to slow you down and do it. And I don't. There's not a part of me that trusts this team at all. It just isn't.
McCall?
He gave him a 3 though, so he trusts him like at least three points. But yeah, I would say to get to a second weekend to 1. I mean, we talked about connected teams. This team is not connected. This team is not connected. I understand the injuries. I understand everything that they've had to deal with. I get it. I totally understand. I'm worried about the point guard play for them. Who is the true point guard? Who can go get one with the game on the line? Otega Owe has looked terrific at times, and other times this season he's looked completely disinterested. And we're talking about the preseason SEC Player of the Year. He's played with a motor at times, and other times he hasn't. I just don't see it. We'll see what happens. Can they get some mojo in the SEC tournament? There will be way more Kentucky fans in that building than any other team in the SEC. I've seen it firsthand. Didn't matter where the SEC tournament is. They used to call it Catlanta when it was in Atlanta. There'll be way more blue and white in those stands in Nashville next week. So maybe they can get some kind of rhythm and a mojo to win a couple games in the NCAA tournament, but I don't see it. I think this is for Coach Mark Pope back to the drawing board, and how can this program under his leadership take the next step? Somebody brought this up the other day. It may have been on the field of 68, just in terms of all the great freshmen across the country. None of them are at Kentucky, which look at when Coach Cal was there, it was, man, he had them all. He had all those guys, and he's got one over there at Arkansas. And I'm not trying to compare those two, but the recruiting, Kentucky's one of those schools that recruits itself because of the history, because of the tradition, because of how many players have gone there and gone into the NBA. So is that something that he tries to shift and change and maybe bring in a younger core with some transfers? We'll see what happens. He was the right guy for the job at the right time, but I don't see this team getting to the second weekend, and I think it's evaluation time and back to the drawing board for how they can get there, because the expectations are national championships.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to give them a 2, and here's why. I think this comes down to seeding for them right now. In the field in the 68 and where they're seeded, if they're a 6 seed and you can play a 3 seed. Now, think of the difference in these 3 seeds real quick. Michigan State, Nebraska, Purdue, Texas Tech. Got a Texas Tech team that have had a couple really good wins, but then obviously we're still playing without JT Toppin. Kentucky does have some physicality. They have a small margin to be successful, but they have some physicality. When they are playing and defending it on transition, they can score. Nebraska, we already went through Purdue, not big on them. If they're in a 7 line, they're not beating Florida to end their season. If they go out right away in the SEC tournament, they go up to the 7 line. That 2 spot is way different. Iowa State, Houston, Florida, Illinois. That's who you'd play in the second round. I don't think they have a shot of beating any one of those 4 teams.
No,
in that's it.
No,
I might even give them a 2 if they get a 7 seed. Yeah, you're right. I might move that to a 2 if they're a 7 seed.
Here we go. Butch gets a little harder now, but I think it comes down to 2. That's why we talk about matchups. These are theoretical matchups. We don't know the bracket, but when you think about in that context and where they're at and their challenges, their limitations, I should say, that's why I think a 2 is best. If you're a Kentucky fan and they get Sweet 16, you better be ecstatic on what's
celebrating
that they're
celebrating the job that Mark Pope has done. Celebrating.
We got time. Let's definitely get at least one more in here. Be a little quicker. We get 2 more here. Let's be quicker. North Carolina